Welcome to the Elmore County Commission Work Session, Monday, April 10, 2017, beginning at 5 p.m. We'll call this meeting to order. We'll begin with our regular business, review of the minutes of the March 27, 2017 Commission meeting. If there are any notes or corrections, please make those known. All right, moving on to the review of the Memorandum of Warrants for the period of March 23rd, 2017 through April 5, 2017. Neil?
The Memorandum of Warrants for March 23rd through April 5th totals to an amount of $2,505,410.09.
Thank you. All right, proceeding with old business, we are to consider Elmore County Industrial Development Board Authority appointment seat number 2. That appointment is due today, 4/10/2017. The name submitted thus far is John Strickland. Is there anyone else to be considered for that? All right, moving on, considering Horseshoe Bend Regional Library Board appointment due 4/27/2017. Current candidate, Philip Judiri. Any additional names? And lastly, consider Mid-South RC&D Council at-large board appointment due 4/27/2017. We currently have no candidates listed there. We will contact them, see if they have any additional names to submit. All right, proceeding down with new business. Open to discuss the competitive bidding 5% local preference zone as referenced in the Code of Alabama, Section 41-1650. Any comments or discussion about this?
Chairman, I think when we, I think it's really important that when we spend taxpayers' dollars that we do it as wise as we possibly can. But I also think it's important when practical that we do give our local business, our local Elmore County-based businesses, some sort of preference. Again, as long as it's practical, I believe it's a wise investment if we do that.
I agree with that too, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, well, according to the Code of Alabama, which we've done some research, it has the statement with regard to local preference zone, which would be considered Elmore County. The bid is, as long as the bid is no more than 5% greater than the bid of the lowest responsible bidder, the awarding authority may award the contract to the resident responsible bidder. So we have the option to then identify that local business, and as long as they are within 5% of the winning bid, they can receive that preference. Now, I too agree that it's important that we provide that opportunity. It's also important to know that our local businesses have to be competitive. They have to be within that 5% in order to receive that preference.
And of course, that will be stated on the bid package when it's sent out, prior to being sent out.
Correct.
Right, okay, thank you.
Yes, it will be on the bid package. Any other comments or discussions on that? Okay, moving on. Additional new business. Consider a 240 nonprofit tax-exempt liquor license application by Alabama Wildlife Federation, Inc. for Alabama Wildlife Federation Cook-Off 2017 at Lake Martin Amphitheater, 8878 Kalijah Road, Eclectic, Alabama 36024 for the event on May 13, 2017. Any discussion on this? Maybe Commissioner Daughtry, can you tell us a little bit about that event?
I can. It's grown to be a very large event. We get people in from all over the state of Alabama. It's a very tourist-friendly event. This is for a one-night only event, and it's a family atmosphere. The Alabama Wildlife Federation hires off-duty deputy sheriffs to work the event, so it has become a very popular place to be when they have this annual event every year, and we're excited to have it at Lake Martin.
Thank you. It's my understanding that this is a license that we have granted for several years in a row.
That's correct.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? All right, moving on, we will proceed to discuss the two-lane building at East Bridge Street and Hill Street in Wetumpka. At this time, I'm going to recuse myself from any conversation regarding this building due to my ownership of business property directly across the street, my ownership of a business directly across the street, and my wife's role as the executive director of Main Street Wetumpka. So we'll open that up to discussion now, and Commissioner Daughtry, I'll have you handle the discussion on this.
Okay. Any discussion?
I know this is an issue that we inherited from a previous commission. I guess my first thought on this is, of course, the county obtained this building, which is the Timms building that we're discussing specifically, and also another building that the Elmore County Pregnancy Center is in. That's correct?
That is correct, yes,
Okay.
sir.
So it's my understanding that specific to this conversation is the Timms building. I have a high level of respect and desire to make sure that whatever happens with that building is completely compliant and in the spirit of the will that the Tulane family left, which is how the county obtained it. But I have read that. I know we have read some information that Jeff has gotten us, and I've actually talked to some other people in Wetumpka that have looked at this same issue over the years, and I'm really not sure if anybody can absolutely say what should be done with that money, if any money is received off of it from rent, or if you sold the building. My position is, of course, Elmore County is not in the property management business, and we have an asset sitting over there that's vacant, and something needs to happen with it. If not, it's just going to sit there and deteriorate. So I guess it leads us to one or two things. We can talk about leasing the building or selling it. But then you go back to what I said earlier, and we're not in the property management business. It would be my desire for us to see what we can legally do with the proceeds of that building, based on the desires of the Tulane family's will, and look at possibly selling it. I'm not sure, based on what I have seen and been told, there's not a lot of, not sure if it would be a good investment for the county, especially based on the fact we have this project going on here for us to invest any future dollars into it for our use.
Commissioner Reed?
I want to ask our attorney, when you was looking into this, what did you come up? What it was found that you think that the county could do, or what did you feel that the Tulane family has said that they wanted to happen with the building when they put it in the care of the county?
Yes, Commissioner, I did do extensive research into reading the will, reading the statutes. In short, the trust itself, and I sometimes use the words trust and will interchangeably because right now the will actually serves as the trust document. You know, it was written a long time ago, as we all know. It was written before the turn of the century, and not the last turn of the century, the previous turn of the century. As I read it, it's a very ambiguous document. Under the law, to specifically answer your question, where a trust does not specify specific things you can do or can't do with a trust, then your default is the Alabama Code, the code section that defines what a trustee can do. And it's very, very broad. It can do, the trust can do all of the things that Commissioner Mercer just discussed. Those are options that are available to the Commission. Now, one thing I would caution on in the instance of a sale, because this occurred so long ago, any potential buyer would likely want to make sure that there was free and marketable title to it. Now, could you go sell it? Probably, not probably, you could, but I don't know that anyone would purchase it in the title condition that it's in now. And I'm not saying there's bad title. I'm just, because I don't know, I haven't done a title search. but I'm just saying that some sort of what is often referred to as a comfort order would be beneficial to a purchaser, make it more marketable, would make the property more marketable. It's my understanding that the building itself is in terrible disrepair, and that brings up other options as far as the trust goes. Some other things that I saw, I don't know how much that building and that property's worth. I do not know in its present condition. And the things that I'm saying are not suggestions. It's just things to answer your question that are available to the commission. I mean, everything from making a capital investment to recondition the building to actually terminating the trust as an uneconomic one if it were determined that the property were worth less than $50,000. Again, those aren't suggestions, they're just options, and it goes to illustrate the point that the options are very wide at this point. To further answer your question as far as the trust itself, another area that appears to be quite ambiguous is, who are the actual beneficiaries, because they're not named in the will or in the trust. There's a general description of what to do with the proceeds from the trust, but they're not specifically named. And I feel under the law that area is there's a lot of discretion there at this time. Did that answer your question? I'm open to more questions.
Well, you third, Commissioner? Oh, I'm sorry.
Just one more question. So the two things you mentioned, us getting a marketable title if we chose to sell it, and also determining what we can do with the money based on the spirit of the will, that could be cleared up with some court action?
That can be done.
Okay.
Is it absolutely necessary? The law already provides for some very wide discretion for the trustees when it's not absolutely specified. But in my opinion, that would be the best route to go.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. My question, I know you and I have talked a couple of times already in relation to this, and tell me if I'm wrong. Whatever we take, whatever direction, whether it's lease or sale, I think we should stipulate somehow a ledger or something and take that money and use it for the purpose that I think the family wanted, period. If we sell it, we donate it to charitable organizations in our county, and if we lease it, we do the same, and I think that'd be what the family's wishes were. What do you think?
Yes, sir, I agree with that.
Oh.
The intent of the will and the best interest of the beneficiaries
Right.
are what you're describing, and that's what Commissioner Mercer was saying as well. And I think you're correct. Yes, sir.
I'd like to be able to prove, if we have to, that we did use that money separate from our general fund. I'm not saying we open a new bank account, but we track it where we know what we did with it. But I prefer to sell it personally and do away with the liability if it's sellable at a fair price. But, it just depends on what the direction everybody wants to go. But
That's certainly an option. Yes, sir. I agree.
Dave saying what the trustees can and can't do.
Yes, sir.
With that, maybe I guess there was a purpose in there for them, why they made the comment the trustees over the building and they were saying they could do this or that.
Yes, sir, that's correct. That it's said to use the proceeds, the building, or the proceeds therefrom. Now, the proceeds therefrom could be lease payments. It could be the net profit from a sale, if that's what the commission wants to do. When trusts are not defined early on, like this one was, and obviously Mr. Tulane wasn't going to know what was 2017 brought, but he didn't make any provisions for what happens when the building deteriorates. That's where the subsequent trustees come in to decide what is best to do in that point, and that's where the commission is now.
Any other questions, comments?
Did I answer your question sufficiently?
I just want to make sure we on a good solid footing with whatever we do according to the trustees. According to being the trustees of that.
Well, there's a general framework in the law for what a charitable organization is. It's a broad one, but it's a general framework, and it would not be hard to find beneficiaries to receive the proceeds.
I concur with several comments, especially Commissioner Holt, because of the state of the disrepair of the building. My preference would be to seek a clear title, get an appraisal on it, and to sell the building rather than try to renovate, seek a tenant, and then somebody would have to monitor that. And you know, I think my personal opinion is we have enough county buildings already to take care of without taking on others. But that's my personal decision there.
One last thing. One of my reasons, Commissioner, for wanting to sell it is if we do lease it, and whoever leases it, they really don't know what they're going to run into for 100% certainty. And, you know, we could end up with a lease that we can't enforce. That's my concern, if they run into excessive cost and walk away from it. So that would prohibit that from happening if we marketed it and got rid of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Mr. Courtney, anything further? I'll turn it back over.
Didn't we have something on the building from the Doolin House to take the building and bring it up to a certain standard and maybe keep it to benefit underprivileged families and stuff?
That was brought up at one time. Mr. Courtney, you have anything on that? I know Mr. Byers not here. He was kind of in spearheading that and having discussions with them at the time. I've not heard anything on it recently. You privy to any? I mean, you.
I've not heard
you
anything
remember
else
any of
on
that?
it. I believe they withdrew their. Was the last I heard their interest in it.
Okay.
That's my understanding as well.
Yeah.
They withdrew. Okay.
Yeah. Have anybody else had any contact with any of the Doolin House
I have not.
since then?
I believe all commissioners received an email from them.
Yeah. I mean, I know.
Withdrawing
I'm
their
saying, have
interest.
you had anything else since then from any of the representatives? Because somebody asked me about well, anyway, I didn't get anything in writing, so I don't want to talk on it now. But anyway,
Well, after the withdrawal,
yeah, after they withdraw from it.
I haven't. I received a letter from them. I guess it was the last of February, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had any other conversation with them.
Mr. Chairman, thank you.
I did have some contact that they might be interested again, but I don't have anything for certain.
That's right.
What I suggest, and I'm glad you brought it up, is whatever we do, we go back to both parties and give them an opportunity to do something. You know, if we're going to sell it, I think we need to contact both parties that had an interest and tell them what we're going to do, and just out of courtesy. Let them bid if they want to, or lease it, or whatever we decide. Thank you.
That's all I have.
Okay, we'll move on. Consider the April Fair Housing Proclamation. This is a letter received from ADECA regarding the month of April being the Fair Housing Month. We have that proclamation. It is just expressing our support for supporting Fair Housing Month, the month of April. Any comments, questions? All right, moving on, discuss letter of support for Elmore County Partnership for Children, Inc. Family Support Programs grant application. This is a grant application from Judge Patrick Pinkston, something that they've received in several years past. We serve as the conduit for the grant. The money comes in and then goes out. There's no county general fund monies spent on that. Any comments or questions there? All right, moving forward, consent docket, authorize Revenue Commissioner to advertise and hire appraiser 1, which is a vacant position. All right, personnel notifications. Notification of hire of Garrett Harrell, part-time corrections officer, to fill vacant position effective 4/6/17. Notification of hire of Anthony Link, equipment operator 2, fill vacant position effective 4/17/17. Notification of transfer of William Robbins from jail to patrol, replace R.T. Ward effective 4/27/17. Notification of hire of Andrea Narstedt, corrections officer, to replace W. Robbins effective 4/6/17. Notification of termination of Matthew Taylor, part-time corrections officer, effective 3/29/17. Notification of promotion of Julie Lawrence from GIS Tech 1 to Mapper 1, fill vacant position, effective 3/13/17. Notification of transfer of Regina Marsh from Appraiser 1 to GIS Tech to fill vacant position, effective 4/10/17. Notification of Alona Lindsay, dispatcher, new position per contract, effective 4/18/17. Notification of Shaniqua Taylor, dispatcher, new position per contract, effective 4/18/17. Notification of Quintisha Sebon, dispatcher, new position per contract, effective 4/18/17. Notification of Tamiki Ward, dispatcher, new position per contract, effective 4/18/17. Notification of April DeYerle, dispatcher, new position per contract, 4/18/17. Notification of Angelica Pelletier, dispatcher, new position per contract, effective 4/18/17. We'll proceed now to the reports to the Commission. We'll begin. Neil Syriac, will you provide us with your report from the County Administrator's Office?
Commissioners, Chairman, I have a small report to give on one of the projects I've been working on in the Commission office. Currently, we're in the process of moving from physical timesheets to fully electronic timesheets. Some of the departments are in the testing phase. We have one live division, which is Highway. They're currently being imported into our system. One of the things that this helps with is the data entry reduction that payroll has to do. A lot of time is spent plugging in each individual person's time. Currently what we have is the departments type it up in Excel, they print it out, and then they hand it to payroll, which takes the physical document and types it back into the computer. So what we're trying to do is move it from Excel to directly to our accounting software. Previously we did this, we moved purchase orders and invoices to fully online, and that saved us a lot of time. We don't have to dig through filing cabinets to look for a specific invoice, or let's say we want an invoice from all the invoices from a specific vendor, we can just pull up the vendor and print it out. Like I said, this is currently in the very initial phases. Highway is the only one that's actually live that we currently import directly. Some of the departments are in the testing phase, and eventually we hope to once we look at make sure it's going through right, we're going to move all the departments to fully electronic. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you. All right, Kimberly.
I just want to give all the commissioners an update on County Government Day. A couple of you have been here before in the past, and some of you are new to it, but you may have been by the courthouse. This is the 14th year we'll be participating in NACO's National County Government Month. And what we do is we have all the high school seniors come to the courthouse, and they participate in a county commission meeting where they get a chance to hear from all of the commissioners and the department heads on what they do. We have 5 major activities that they go around to, which is going to be EMA will do a talk, the Highway Department will do a demonstration, SOU is down at Gold Star Park, and they'll blow some explosives and do some demonstrations. And then we have the courthouse tour and voter registration. Right now we have Edgewood, Elmore County High School, Hopeville High School, Stanhope, Elmore, Tallahassee, and Victory Baptist planning to come. And there's over 15 agencies that will be participating. The commission meeting is that morning at 9:30. Just as a reminder to y'all, you're welcome to stay the rest of that day as your schedule allows. And if it rains, we will cancel it. We've done it maybe once or twice when it rained and we were in the courtroom all day and it was just a long lecture. So just to give y'all an update, if you have any questions, let me know.
Is Wetumpka High School not participating?
Yes, sir.
They weren't on the list.
I sent an email out. They have another field trip scheduled that day this year.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, moving on, Highway Department report, Charles King.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, the only thing I have tonight is one item asked to be added to the agenda, personnel notification for a vacant position in facility maintenance. It was sent in, but it was accidentally omitted from the just asked for that to be added.
Okay. In order to add this notification, we need a unanimous vote from the Commissioners to add that to the notifications of hires. All Commissioners in support of doing that? Is there anyone against that? All right, we will have that added for the business section of our meeting. All right, EMA, Mr. Jones.
Sure. Gentlemen, just a couple of items I wanted to report on this evening. First of all, last week was an extremely busy week for us with regards to the severe weather threat that we had Monday and then again on Wednesday. With Wednesday, the more significant threat being on Wednesday. With the threat that we had on Wednesday, we were very blessed not to have any more damage than what we had in the county. That is the one thing I would love to underscore. You've only got to go about a county north or a county east or a county south and find tremendous damages. And like I say, the Tri-County area as a whole was really spared, any significant damage. I know been a lot of comments on social media with regards to the National Weather Service just missing the forecast. Well, they did not miss the forecast. I want to help get that word out there. We were just blessed. We really were on that particular event on Wednesday. The end of the week, we worked very hard on the preparedness fair, and we had a phenomenal turnout of all of the participating agencies and partnering agencies that we had. And like I say every year, we can't do that event without all of the tremendous support that we had again. And I think we ended up with 52 different agencies out there. We did not have the turnout that we wanted. We did have a low turnout, but for competing with the air show, the Auburn A-Day game, the concert at the Shakespeare Festival, all the ball games and everything, I have come to the realization we picked the worst day in the spring to try to host something for a good turnout from the public. So we will be making some adjustments to that next year. But as far as the agencies, I've got letters going out to all of them that participated and thanking them. We had a very successful event with the outreach that we had. We had some very engaged people that did come out, and then we also had excellent opportunity to build the relationships among the responders that were there as well. So we did have about 22 people in the basic storm spotter training class, had a very engaged class there. The National Weather Service was very happy to have that turn out for the spotter training class. But as a whole, it was a tremendous success. We want to keep making improvements, take the lessons learned that we can. This was the first one we've done in the spring. And like I say, we want to back it up about a month and try it again next year, and really look forward to it. I really do. Two other things that aren't specifically pertaining to emergency management, but one of them that we have involvement with and that I sit on the board on both of them is first the EMS board. The full board met last Tuesday at 4 o'clock. During that meeting, we voted to extend the Haynes Ambulance Service contract for one more year. So it'll be another year. We've actually got one more year that we can vote on that as far as extending it and then having to rebid that contract. But that process seems to be working very well, and if any of you have any comments or questions about the ambulance service, I would certainly love to entertain those as well. And then the last thing, and then I'll be quiet, is the Sorrelco or Search and Rescue of Elmore County has their annual golf tournament, which is their primary fundraiser for the year coming up. This the last Friday in the month on April 28th. I'll be emailing y'all some information on that. And if nothing, like I say, nothing else, just help get the word out. They do a tremendous job of supporting the public safety agencies in the county, and we want to keep helping them try to maintain the level of funding that they've had to keep doing that. That's all I've got to report at this time. Do y'all have any questions of me at this time?
Thank you. All right, County Attorney Jeff Courtney.
I don't have anything this evening, but if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you. All right, we'll go with the reports from the Commission. Commissioner Holt.
We're glad to have each and every one of you here tonight. Wish we had more. And I guess on April 27th we'll have a full room with all the high school seniors, which will be a good thing. So be glad to see that. And also I wanted to thank each and every one of you for calling and emailing when I was sick. Thank you.
Commissioner Daughtry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Certainly glad to have Commissioner Holt back with us after his accident. We're just thankful that it wasn't worse than it was. Thank you, Mr. Jones, for all the reports during the threatening weather last week. 1 week ago tomorrow, Elmore County lost one of its most valued law enforcement officers in Captain Terry Ward of the Sheriff's Department. Captain Ward was a veteran of the Sheriff's Department, and I had the privilege of working with him many, many times. And I've never met a finer man and a finer officer. I was very impressed with the turnout at his celebration of life service, especially among the county employees, the Commission, the Sheriff's Department, the community here in Elmore County. And I would hope, as a matter of a suggestion, that in the very near future the Commission would consider a resolution to honor Captain Ward to be presented to his wife and family during a regular County Commission meeting. And I would ask that we all remember to pray for our state leaders and state government tonight, as things are very much in turmoil. And we pray for guidance and wisdom from our Heavenly Father that the right decisions will be made regarding that situation in Montgomery. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Mercer.
Sure. Chairman, I just have a few things specifically related to my duties to work with ACETA and economic development issues on behalf of the Commission. Just want to report I did have the honor of attending a groundbreaking ceremony for the Millbrook Business Park this past week, as the majority of us did have an opportunity to attend. That's a very exciting opportunity for Elmore County, and specifically West Elmore County, because that's the first park of that type over on the west side. So I appreciate Mayor Kelly, the Millbrook City Council, and ACETA in helping bring that to a realization. Also, in talking with the ACETA leadership, they've informed me that they will here soon be engaging the services of a retail consulting firm, with their primary focus being to attract new retailers to all areas of Elmore County. Hopefully the goal, of course, would be to increase available jobs, revenue collections, and also to serve to fill some of our vacant storefronts. I've informed Ms. Finley and ACETA to we'll be supportive of that effort any way we possibly can. Also, about a year ago, maybe a little bit more than a year ago, ACETA started working with a publisher, helping create a book, and if you want to come on up, Lisa, that basically told the story of Elmore County. This is a book that was published at no cost to taxpayers. It was all funded by private donors, or either I think there was some municipalities that participated, but it was not underwritten by any county effort. But Lisa, of course, as you see, is she wanted to give each of our commissioners a copy of the book. It's a very, very good book. I've looked at it and read through it. It's very impressive, and I appreciate the effort of everyone, the sponsors that participated in it, and the CETA in putting it together. Just one comment in general. We vote on the last appointment to the Industrial Development Authority. I think looking down the road and us the opportunities that's going to give our county by establishing that organization, and we'll have completed that process tonight. I think we're going to realize the benefits of that organization to the county as a whole for many years to come. Chairman, that's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Reeves?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say thank everyone for coming, and I too is glad to see our economic development working, and we trying to bring jobs and all kind of things in to move Elmo County forward as we go on into the new millennium. But is another thing I wanted to ask about. We have the personnel notifications. I want to make sure, I know with the sheriff department, he kind of like put out a notice and you can just go by and fill out an application, and he's in line with the equal opportunity employment. And I wanted to know if we doing this by running an application, or do we advertise for these different positions on our notification here? Are we advertising for them? I mean, because a lot of time I don't see the advertising, but I just want to know if we do.
Yeah, I think that, and Eric may be able to address that. He's going through one right now, but what they formulate the job description and put all that information together, and then they'll post the job for a specific period of time. How long did you leave the application
We actually
open?
did ours 3 weeks. I think most of the time it's just 2 weeks is what's required by the guidelines. But we do, come up with the job announcement. The description is already put together. We advertise that in the local newspapers. We also post it on our county website, and then it also typically goes to the ACCA website and is posted there as well. So, I know ours was out there for 3 weeks. So
yeah. Well, anyway, I want to make sure that we put all of those notices in our local newspaper, because a lot of people have come to me and say they hadn't even seen them in there, and I hadn't seen them either. So we need to do a better job to satisfy the equal opportunity employer, because if we got position open, then we should have it where if we need to run a little bit more. But I understand with the sheriff department, with the deputies and things, he got an open register that run all the time. He take the application. But with the county, we need to, if we got a position open, gonna come open, or vacancy coming open, then we need to advertise for that and make sure that the people know it, because they say, well, we ain't taking the application for this because it's already been filled. So we don't want to do that. If you got a vacant, give people opportunity to fill out the application and apply for the job.
Well, I think we have a specific requirement for 2 weeks. I can speak to Richie Byer. He's not here right now. He posted a job not long ago. He had over 100 people apply for it. So somebody's hearing about them.
Some of them. I ain't saying all of them. I ain't said just Richie. I ain't calling no names. So I'm just saying that all the jobs.
I didn't say you did. I'm just saying that we have a specific guideline of minimum of 2 weeks.
Well,
I do think that a lot of people do think that all of the county jobs are handled the exact same way in all of the offices, and I don't know that that's the case. You know, with regards to the sheriff's office and kind of being handled with a different personnel policy or what have you. So that may be something, because I know that there have been a lot of questions on the way the two dispatch offices are being combined, and that's kind of a very unique situation there, and I think that's something that people have heard about that I think they thought
Well,
there
that's
was something that
exactly
wasn't
right.
posted.
These last 6
Right.
jobs right here on this list are all the City of Wetumpka
Right.
dispatchers that, because we authorized the combining,
That's right.
they're already employed at the City of Wetumpka, and they are now employed by Elmore County because of the combination. So
That's right.
those jobs would not be posted because it has the appearance that someone is getting a job, but they're actually just transferring from the city to the county. So I can definitely see how that
Well, I understand that. I'm not talking about the people that are already employed. And I'm talking about the position that come open and that don't have field yet. I'm just talking about those. And maybe if we need to go more than 2 weeks, then we might need to do that. But anyway, but the ones that you're talking about are like, I know the city just transfer. I know all about that. And dispatch, like I said, with the sheriff department, I understand that. With the deputies and the dispatchers. But I'm just saying with the open competitive with the public for you to apply for a job with the county, then I think that if we need more time for the people. But then like sometime when it's out there, that job was announced. That's why you had 100 people that could apply. Okay.
and that's a lot of applications.
That's right, because they knew about it.
All right, I'll just say that I think it's very important that we, as a commission and as citizens of Elmore County, are vigilant of the things going on in the legislative session that could or potentially would affect Elmore County. It is very important that we continue to monitor that. I would imagine that, as Commissioner Daughtry mentioned, with the turmoil at the top of the state government right now, I would imagine that there is some potential dysfunction and people looking for leadership at that level. And with that, you know, we need to insert ourselves with our local legislators and make sure that they hear our voices and that they know what we are looking for the best of in the best interest of the citizens of Elmore County. And we continue to pray for the leadership of our state, that they can find some sense of direction and begin to rebuild the trust of the people of this state in the office of governor and the other leadership roles there. We'll proceed now with the important calendar dates. Ms. Erb?
One item to mention that is not listed, it is Child Abuse Prevention Month. Each of you is given a pin this evening from the Extension Office for Child Abuse Prevention. We'll recognize that more during County Government Day. There'll be a proclamation and blue balloons and that kind of thing. Wednesday, April 19th through Thursday, April 20th, you have your next ALGTI course. It's Financial Administration over at the Legends in Prattville. Thursday, April 20th and Friday, April 21st is the elective for liability of the county. Monday, April 24th, the courthouse will be closed in observance of Confederate Memorial Day, and Thursday, April 27th, starting at 9:15 through about 1:30 is County Government Day. And like I said, the work session will be at 9:30 that morning, so make sure y'all are here in the morning.
All right, thank you. We will reconvene in a few minutes. We'd like to welcome everybody back to our business meeting of our County Commission meeting Monday, April 10, 2017. Beginning here at 5:55, we'll call this meeting to order. I will offer the invocation. Our Heavenly Father, we are grateful for this opportunity to gather together and participate in local government. We are grateful for the citizens of Elmore County and for the effort put forth by each individual here to make this a better place. We are grateful for the employees of our county and their diligent work and their desire to do their very best. We are grateful for the leadership of our state and country, and we ask Thee to bless them, that they might find strength and wisdom, and that through these difficult times they will be guided and directed by Thy hand. We are grateful for our safety, and we are grateful for Commissioner Holt's improvement and recovery. We ask Thee to bless the remainder of our meetings this day. Bless us with safety, wisdom, and bless us to always maintain the best interest of the citizens of the county in our minds and hearts. And this we say in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
All right, Commissioner Mercer will lead us in the pledge. Okay, Ms. Erb, will you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Holt? Commissioner Daughtry?
Here.
Chairman Stubbs?
Here.
Commissioner Mercer?
Here.
Commissioner Reeves?
All right, we'll proceed with our regular business. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the March 27th, 2017 Commission meeting as presented in the work session?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes.
All right, is there a motion to approve the memorandum of warrants for the period of March 23, 2017 through April 5, 2017?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes.
All right, moving with our old business. Is there a motion to approve or deny Elmore County Industrial Development Authority Board appointment, seat number 2, which is due today, and the appointment would be John Strickland?
So move.
Second.
Ms. Erb?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes.
All right, moving forward with new business. All right, is there a motion to approve or deny the continued commitment to the competitive bidding 5% local preference zone under Code of Alabama, Section 41-1650, with the legal boundaries of the jurisdiction of Elmore County as the preference zone?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes.
All right, motion to approve or deny a 240 nonprofit tax-exempt liquor license application by the Alabama Wildlife Federation, Inc. for the Alabama Wildlife Federation Cook-Off 2017 at the Lake Martin Amphitheater, 8878 Kalijah Road, Eclectic, Alabama 36024, for the event on May 13, 2017.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve or deny further research of the two-lane building on East Bridge Street and Hill Street in Wetumpka in order to evaluate the best options for the county?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Go ahead.
Reeves. All right, Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
I recuse myself.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
And Commissioner Reeves?
Yes.
All right, proceeding, motion to approve or deny the April Fair Housing Proclamation by ADECA.
Motion.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes.
All right, motion to approve or deny the letter of support for Elmore County Partnership for Children, Inc. Family Support Programs grant application.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes.
All right, proceeding to the consent docket to authorize Revenue Commissioner to advertise and hire Appraiser 1 vacant position.
Motion to approve consent docket.
Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes.
All right, proceeding to the personnel notifications. Notification of hire of Garrett Harrell, part-time corrections officer, to fill a vacant position effective 4/6/17. Notification of hire of Anthony Link, equipment operator 2, fill vacant position effective 4/17/17. Notification of transfer of William Robbins from jail to patrol to replace R.T. Ward, effective 4/27/17. Notification of hire of Andrea Narstedt, Corrections Officer, to replace W. Robbins, effective 4/6/17. Notification of termination of Matthew Taylor, Part-Time Corrections Officer, effective 3/29/17. Notification of promotion of Julie Lawrence from GIS Tech to Mapper 1, fill vacant position, effective 3/13/17. Notification of transfer of Regina Marsh from Appraiser 1 to GIS Tech to fill vacant position, effective 4/10/17. Notification of hire of Alona Lindsay, Dispatcher, new position per contract, effective 4/18/17. Notification of hire of Shaniqua Taylor, Dispatcher, new position per contract, effective 4/18/17. Notification of hire of Quintisha Seabon, Dispatcher, new position per contract, effective 4/18/17. Notification of hire of Timiki Ward, Dispatcher, new position per contract, effective 4/18/17. Notification of hire of April DeYerle, Dispatcher, new position per contract, effective 4/18/17. Notification of hire of Angelica Pelletier, Dispatcher, new position per contract, effective 4/18/17. Notification of hire of Stephen Woodward, Facilities Maintenance Tech, to replace Jay Johns, effective 4/17/17. Reports to the Commission. Neil, do you have anything additional?
I have nothing further to report.
All right, Charles from the Highway Department.
Nothing further.
Eric, Emergency Management.
No, sir.
Mr. Courtney.
Nothing further, no, sir.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reed?
Adjourned.